My name's Sean Fagan. I'm a Wadawurrung man. I'm a descendant of the last traditional man of the Wadawurrung people. At the time of colonisation, my ancestors, there was around 3,000 people in the Wadawurrung nation, and that was reduced to one last person, and I'm a descendant of that person. The shield that's on display in the Encounters exhibition at the moment in language is a Malka. Its meanings and markings on the shield represent the northern and southern flowing waters of the Great Dividing Range, and the diamonds in the middle represent home and a place of ceremony. The reason that I depicted those carvings on the and many other reasons why they are on the shield. A few years ago now, we had to walk our boundaries with our neighbouring group for native title purposes. By walking those boundaries out of respect for our ancestors, we forged a good relationship with our neighbouring group, and I wanted to pay homage to those people and to our ancestors. And that's why the markings are represented on those shields. As our two groups walking together, we found that we shared similar stories of heartbreak and dispossession. We now come together once a year for ceremony on our boundaries and on shared country, what we now call shared countries. And when we were walking the boundaries, we said to each other, these aren't our boundaries, these aren't a line on the map, these are our places of coming together. It was good to be able to use that shield in the ceremony to show people that we still have our culture and we're still strong and vibrant in our existence, I suppose. And to be able to use that in ceremony with these people who are very close to myself, and to be able to show people, and especially being a shield, to show people that we can protect each other, and that was the whole purpose of the shield. The shield's made of she oak, and I carved it at home. I was going through a bit of stuff at the time because of the job that I was doing and with the ancestral remains, having the responsibility of returning our ancestors from institutions and museums and things. I was going through a very rough time and having dreams and all sorts of crazy things. So I started carving, and carving to me helped me a lot. It built some strength in me, showed me a way out of living in two worlds. So I was able to focus on my shield and just carve and do as my ancestors did. And to be able to do that, I've always been passionate with wood carving. I'd go to school and I couldn't sit in maths class or science class and that sort of thing. And if the teacher wanted me, they'd find me in the woodwork room. That's where I'd be. And staying out of trouble in the woodwork room, just working with my hands. And I never really realised until later in life that that's why I was doing that. And so to do the wood carving at home in my own time and in honour of my ancestors, I think was a great bit of healing for myself. I've done a fair bit of work with the Museum Victoria for the repatriation of Wadawurrung ancestral remains, and also unprovenance remains of people from across Victoria. I had to work in the collections individuating people for their repatriation and back to country. In that time I was able to view collections of Wadawurrung ancestral objects and to be able to connect with those objects and learn from those objects. That's where I learnt a lot of the stories of people I'd done a lot of my own research, historical research of trying to find my ancestors and where they'd been dug up from and where they'd been collected from and that sort of thing. From that, I'd go and visit the collections now and then to reconnect with the objects, not the remains as well, but not just the remains, but to connect with the objects. So, by holding a man's shield, to me, is some way protecting myself and putting me on the right path. Yep. I spent a lot of time teaching my daughter about the place names of Wadawurrung country because it builds a sense of place for people, and it builds, I think, strength in people knowing their place and their place in the world. The reason I teach those names is hopefully one day that we may get some of our land back. At the moment we have no native title, we have no objects, we have nothing, and everything has been taken from us. You can't take place names from people. They're always going to be there. Those places will have their meaning and always have had their meaning. I think that I spend a lot of time teaching my daughter that. I don't spend too much time talking about past history because of a lot of the devastation, and I think when people want to go on that journey and find those things, I think that's up to them to find that information out. Some of the information that I've found about, especially my ancestral remains, it is very daunting, and it's a big responsibility to hold that information. I think people when they want to find things out, they'll find it in their time. We were only recognised in 2009 by the state government of Victoria as traditional owners. That's 2009, it's not very far away. So that's why this shield is very important for us as well, to be in this exhibition, because only 6 years ago we were recognised as traditional owners of our own land, and to be in this exhibition is a great honour for us as traditional owners of Wadawurrung to put it out there to the world that we are here, we exist. And though I might have fair skin, it doesn't mean nothing. I'm a Wadawurrung man.